Well, hello and welcome, my gentlemen. Wow, you guys are coming in hot with the questions already. Welcome, welcome, welcome from Bali, Indonesia. If you are new here, my name is Arica Angelo, and I am a dating and relationship expert for men. And I don't even know if I don't think my AirPods are working. I think I'm just talking through the computer. Let's see. Like, what's going on with you guys? Uh-oh, it says that my connection is unstable. Uh, let's see. Can you guys hear me okay? Uh, someone says, love your show. Thank you. What time do I come on online? I come on 12 p.m. every Thursday, Hong Kong time. So can you guys hear me okay? I've been watching you since you were in Miami. Miami? I never lived in Miami. I've been to Miami. All right, guys. So I'm excited to dive into your questions. Also, I'm in my new crib. So I'll have to show you my new villa after I answer some of your questions. So let's jump right into this. Demetrius, Avenger Armin says, hello, Erica. Are women turned off if a man sober dates? And do women shy away from a man who is spiritual and faith? So here's the thing. Every woman is different. So we can't just say like one size fits all, right? We can't do that. But listen, like some women like who enjoy their wine, sometimes, yeah, it is a bit of a turn off if a guy doesn't drink at all. But here's the thing, there are sober men out there who, I think it's how you present it. So if you're like, listen, I'm sober, I'm just going to drink my soda water over here with lime, which is my drink when I'm not drinking alcohol. It's sparkling water with lime, essentially. We call it soda water out here in Bali. But just like, listen, I'm comfortable in my skin. I hope that you're comfortable in your skin. So basically, you kind of like put it back on her. It's like, I'm comfortable with being sober. I hope you're comfortable being able to just drink alone. Like, I hope you're comfortable with that. But yeah, I have, talked to some women, and some women are like, because I love, my alcohol so much, I love wine so much, when a guy doesn't drink, it is a concern. It's a red flag. I have seen some men who are sober. I have a dear friend of mine that I would go out to parties and clubs with, and he never drank. He never ever drank. He was a recovering addict, never ever drank. But you know what? He was always so much fun at every party that no one ever realized he wasn't drinking. I think it's about the vibe that you bring. But if I think people typically associate like someone who's not drinking, like they're going to be very conservative. They're going to be judging everyone else who is drinking. They're going to be more withdrawn, more forlorn. And so it's like, who wants to be around that energy when people are out having a good time? I think it's about the energy that you bring, meaning you can still be the life of the party and not be on booze. And so when a woman feels that energy from you, like, oh, wait, like it's not even an issue because he doesn't make it an issue. She feels comfortable with it. But if she is really insecure about it, then you have to put it back on her. And just be like, are you comfortable in your own skin with the fact that you're going to have to drink alone? Um, and no, women love men who are spiritual and faith. Like, I think that in this time of Corona, and many people refer to it as a time of awakening, that people are returning to spirituality. And so, if she's a spiritual woman, spirituality is going to be really important to her. So it's not a turn off. It's once again how you present that energy. Some people who are spiritual but shove it down people's throats, like that's just a turn off for anyone. It doesn't matter what faith you belong to. If you're shoving something, I think like both, to answer your question, both energies, as long as you're not shoving it down someone's throat, they're going to enjoy you. But when you start like preaching at them or like trying to make it about like force it on them, no one's going to like that. No, because everyone likes freedom of choice. Hi, Chris. I am doing well. I Ninja Wolf, they hid your comment, but it says, is having a small boner one of these masturbation myths? What do you mean? Like when you're not like fully erect? What do you mean? Give me some clarity. Ooh, Daniel is asking a really hardy question, which is this. He says, after being hurt, how do you know that the next person who you give your heart will not hurt you as well? That's just it, Daniel. We don't know. We never know if the next person's going to hurt us. What we can do is we can practice boundaries, and watch their behavior. You just don't give your heart out like, "Oh, here's all of my heart again." You give them pieces. You trust them with little bits and pieces, and you see how responsible they are with those pieces. You see their character in the process. Like, that's one thing that I think we can forget to do is watch for someone's character. How are they showing up? Are they showing up as someone who's going to be, you know, partially responsible for your heart. You're responsible for your heart. And then as you get in relationship with someone, yeah, there's a responsibility that they have to your heart. So you watch their character, like how do they show up in life? And look at your core values. Like what are important things to you? Are they someone who lies? Are they someone who has cheated on all their past partners? Are they someone who gets, easily distracted by things and you might just be the flavor of the month? Like, just observe their character. And before you fully give them all of your heart, make sure that their character lines up with your core values and the things that are important to make your heart feel safe, loved, and cherished. But no, that's the thing about love is it's always a risk because it's essentially everyone has a choice to either love or to not love. And so every time we get in a relationship, we are taking that risk. But some people will say to that, well, then I'd rather just not risk because it hurts too much, or some people don't even have the courage to say that. They just say, oh, I'm not interested. But essentially what they're saying is, I'm not interested because it hurts too much and I'm afraid of getting hurt again, which is a valid feeling. It's valid to not want to get hurt again. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you live in a state of fear and you're always afraid that this bad thing's going to happen, that bad thing's going to happen, what that essentially does is it stops you from living. It's the same thing when it comes to the heart. When we're afraid of, like, is that person going to hurt me? Is that person going to hurt me? And we approach life from that posture, from that positioning of, is everyone going to hurt me? Essentially, what we shut down is us actually living from our heart, because to live from our heart will require courage, it will require love. But when we come from a place of fear, what we end up doing is we gravitate into our life people who are of the same vibration of fear. And so chances are when we bring very fearful people in our life, fearful people do hurt one another. Why? Because they haven't faced themselves, they haven't faced themselves in the mirror, they don't have the courage to look within, and so there's just this self-perpetuating cycle. So, Daniel, I would really encourage you to maybe continue healing where that person has hurt you. And if you're my client, what I like to say to my clients is like, I'm really sorry. Like every time we go through a pain like that, it needs to be validated. And that's the way it begins to start to heal, is by someone just saying, hey, what happened to you was not okay. And I'm really sorry. And I'm sorry that your heart is hurting. And I'm sorry that you're going through this right now. And what you're feeling is completely valid. Like, we have to go through that validation process for the healing to begin. So I would really encourage you to go on a healing journey with your heart. You can also check out my Emotional Warrior page because it has a lot to do with doing just that, facing yourself in the mirror, healing those parts of you where love has been scary and you've shut down to love. And that program is about like rebuilding yourself, reclaiming yourself so that love and women can feel like a safe place in your heart again. And I put that link in the chat box for you, Daniel. Ninja Wolf says, I'm ready for you, cinnamon bun. Well, you weren't too ready because you're always the first one to make a comment, and Avenger got to you first. This is a great question. I love you guys. Also, you always ask great questions. Chris says, Arica, what's the difference between pursuing and chasing a woman? Pursuing a woman it's different energies. Like, let me talk about it from a very like energetic positioning. Pursuing is, wow, I'm into this girl, I'm going after her. Chasing comes from an energy of desperation and fear. The reason why women love to be pursued, but they don't want to be completely chased is because of the energy that comes behind it. A pursuit is like more of that alpha kind of character, that emotional warrior. It's like, I see this woman, I see what I want, I'm going after her, I'm going to pursue this woman. Chasing comes from a more needy, fearful place of, I gotta have her. And essentially, what you're saying is, I gotta have her because without her, I'm not okay in my life. And no one wants to be with that kind of a person because we all want to feel okay on the inside. That's why we're drawn to confident people. What are confident people exuding? They're exuding an energy that says, I'm okay with being in my own skin. So when you come with that needy, fearful energy, we naturally want to repulse against that. It's not natural to us, but a pursuit is a different energy. It's like this fire energy. It's that penetrative force that every man carries inside of his body if he's connected to his masculinity, which is, I see you, girl. I want you. I'm going to get you. Chasing is like, it's needy. It's guys who are like friend zone nice guys. Just like, I'm just going to keep chasing you. And no matter what you do, you can shit all over me and I'm going to still keep chasing you. That kind of vibe turns women off, and vice versa. It turns men off too, when women come with that like, I'm gonna have you, guys are like, oh, I kind of push away from that. Billy Bunghole says, Billy Bunghole, needing TV for my bunghole. Are you threatening me? What is that? You guys remember Beavis and Butthead? My favorite cartoon ever. Billy says he's also in his lingerie. Prove it. Prove it. Show us some pictures. Put it on the gram. Let us see it in your Instagram story. What up, Brian? Hey, boo boo. Ninja Wolf's calling him out. He's like, "How are you in lingerie? You're a dude." Hello, Jason from Texas. Uh, uh, Dave says he's having a rough day. He's feeling disconnected. Oh, Dave, especially in these times, like I'm imagine like most of us have a lot of rough days, just being separated from people and just what the world being where it is. And so, Dave, I just sent a lot of love to your heart. Just, ooh, take a deep breath, Dave. Sometimes just doing that, coming back to our bodies. I've been doing breath work regularly. I don't know if I've shared, I've brought on a couple breath work teachers. I should bring on the one that I work with, just this particular one that I'm working with. Um, I tend to be one of those people that once I learn a new form of healing or something new, I'm like, you gotta try this. It's the best thing. It's the answer to everything. My dad used to get so annoyed with me. She's like, Arica, like, calm down. But no, you have to do this. It will change your life. And I'm kind of on that right now with breath work. So, but breathing, Dave, as simple as it is super helpful on those really difficult days so that you can come back to yourself, reconnect back to yourself. And Dave, one thing that, I'm sure you've heard of, but just a simple reminder, my breathwork teacher has to remind me is doing it's kind of like box breathing where you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you let it out for 4, and then you hold for 4. And you keep this going for about 20 minutes. And it feels very transcendent once you're doing. Look at the plant behind her. I know. I can't wait to show you guys my villa after I answer some more of your questions. Because you guys come here to get your questions answered, not to see my beautiful Bali villas. Or do you? Vulnerability, yes, Sean. Oh my gosh, such an important topic. Irvin says, question: should you avoid a girl after her ex stalked her while you were out with her? Um, that's a tricky one. There it does sound like some potential drama. My question to you is, how into the girl are you? It sounds like she's maybe got some issues to work out, maybe some boundary issues with this ex of hers. So is she kind of worth going on that journey for? Did you feel that connected to her? But it definitely sounds like if he's stalking her, it sounds like she's got some things to work out in her private life. Perhaps before you want to get involved with her, and let her work that out before you get too full on into her, is my advice to you. Okay, next question. Vinny says, Vinny says, "Hi, Erica. Is it okay?" Or he doesn't say hi. He just says, "Erica. It's okay to go on a date with an old girlfriend who's currently married now, asking to see me and spend time with me." Hell no. What the hell is you thinking, son? Nah. No, 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 no. She is married. Leave that woman alone. That woman is just coming to cause trouble in your life. Tell her, yeah, you're happy to go lunch with her and her husband. That would be wonderful. Otherwise, she has no business trying to see you and spend time with you if she's married. No, that is just trouble. If she's going to do it to him, she's going to do it to you. Stay away from this woman. What's my favorite cartoon? That's a very interesting question. I don't know. I mean, I was quite a fan of that Bugs Bunny. I mean, Bugs Bunny was kind of the dude. Let's see. What's my next question? Uh, Next question. Okay. Julie says, I thought I was the first to comment. I didn't see that, babe. Ooh, okay. Here's a great question from Nate Spurs. He says, why do breakups hurt more and more as I get older? Ha, I definitely love more deeply. Maybe that's why. And maybe you just answered your own question. Yeah, I think that here's the thing. Mm, how do I want to answer this? It's two things. Two things. Yes, we can start loving more deeply if we become more aware of the importance of love, right? And so that's why it can hurt more deeply. But Nate, I would also propose this to you, my darling. Sometimes it can also hurt more deeply because with each failed relationship, we can feel a bit hopeless. Like, I know I think everyone kind of feels the same emotion, or most people do, when you go through a breakup and you go, "Oh, I'm never going to find anyone." Even though there are billions of people on the planet, that's that fear of returning to loneliness, because loneliness can be a dark place. Why? Because we're not meant to experience it. Um, but when we go back to that period of loneliness and not having that person holding us, not having them kiss us, not having them call and check in on us, when we go through that breakup, we feel like the bottom of the floor has just broken open and we're just falling in this hole. And it's like, am I ever going to be loved again? Is someone ever going to love me the way this person loved me? And so sometimes the hurt can come from hopelessness. And so I kind of get a sense, I could be wrong, but my intuition tells me a little bit that there might be some hopelessness also going on. I do believe that you do love deeply, and I want to honor that. And I don't want to take anything away from that because that is beautiful in itself. But also, we have to be conscious that sometimes hopelessness can creep in there. And when hopelessness creeps in there, we have to just go, you know what? You can go at it two ways. That's not really helpful for me right now to say that to me, because the reality is there's like billions of people here. And so I'm pretty sure I can meet someone else. And the other thing is, you know what, hopelessness, you don't get to talk to me. I talk to emotions as if sometimes they were a person. Hopelessness, you don't get to have this conversation with me anymore because you're not helping me out. You're really not helping me out. So, hope, I invite you into my heart. Hope, can you show me a silver lining? Can you show me a bigger picture that I'm not seeing here? Because hope is what will get you to keep your heart open so that the right love can come in and that you don't keep going through these breakups. Brian, my darling, when is our next session? You just said, I'm in a place of hurting and healing and learning tonight. Okay, I definitely want to hear about that in our session for sure. Um, Brian, I am just sending, I'm trying to get Brian out here. He's one of my clients that is supposed to come out to Bali with me. And I really wish you were here right now, because I would just hold the shit out of you and just say, cry it out, baby. Cry it out. Let me just hold you. I'm sending so much love to your heart, babe. Yeah, deep, deep, deep love and peace. Peace in the hurt. Yeah, and that the hurt would be clarity, that you wouldn't hurt just for hurt's sake, but that there would be clarity in your healing and learning. A lot of grace to you in that, baby doll. Uh, Let's see. Next question. Someone else said they love Beavis and Butthead. I love it. Uh, Derek, I don't think this is a question for me, but I think he's just commenting because sometimes you guys start having conversations in the chat box, which sometimes can be really cool, and sometimes little assholes can creep in. And there's one in here right now. I'm not going to say his name so that he doesn't get any credit. But yeah, Derek says, I so miss having sex during this pandemic. Am I not the only one? Please comment. I think everyone who is not having sex during this pandemic can all give you a hearty hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, but you know what? You can get really good at bringing pleasure to yourself, and you can get really good watching my videos on the sexual things that you can do to women so that when the time comes that you are ready and prepared and you will come out of the gate like fire. Like when those bulls, I come from Texas originally, and they do with bull riding, and the bulls are like behind the gates and they're just like just watch my videos and like really figure out what you're doing, because there is education that needs to be had when it comes to pleasing a woman. But I know like some of you guys are just coming out of the gate like a freaking bull, and some of you may not last 8 seconds. Yeah. Hello, Christopher from Vantucky, Washington. I've never heard of Vantucky. Let me just see. And sometimes you guys ask some crazy ass questions. I'm like, where the did you pull that out of? Gosh damn it, just jumped around. Okay. Next one. Is breathwork masculine? Yes, actually, in Bali, there are a lot of men breathwork teachers, and I have a lot of guy friends who are doing breathwork. Breathwork is very masculine. It's just we're all breathing people. Like we all breathe, so our emotions get trapped in our body, and so breathwork helps release some of those emotions. Someone says, I actually came to see your beautiful body. Well, thank you. Um, Next question. What about a woman who is too busy? Listen, you want someone who is available for you. And sometimes, women are too busy because, maybe they're building their empire, or they have a lot of responsibility. At the end of the day, if you are ready for a relationship and you're ready to settle down and she's not there, then she's just not your woman. You have to meet someone who's on the same page as you. And to chase someone who's not on the same page, you might be at a place where you're like, my life is sorted out. I don't have to be as busy anymore. And so I really want to be with someone who can share that time with me. Then you need to find that, because that's going to make you feel more fulfilled than a busy woman. Okay, next question. I'm going to answer Alex's questions because it's good. He says, although like why do women want to be, I'm going to read it just like you wrote it. Why do women want to be taken care of and expect man to OA for everything? I think what you're trying to say is, why do women want to be taken care of and expect men to pay for everything? There are some women like that. It's kind of like the old school, right? The way things were back in the day, where men went out to be the breadwinners and then women kind of stayed at home. They took care of the house. Things have changed quite a bit. I did do a video on like what do you do if you date a woman who makes more money than you? Not all women are like that. So I feel like it's like saying, why do all men want to be housewives now? Because that's kind of a new thing, right? Where men are staying home and taking care of the babies. I think that's a very broad box to put all women in. There are actually a lot of women now who take a lot of pleasure. I'm one of them, and being able to just provide for themselves. I like being able to buy what I want to buy and go where I want to go, and no one tells me, yeah, you can or cannot do that. I mean, like if someone said that to me, I'm like, what the hell? So that's not all women. Maybe you want to ask yourself, why am I meeting women just like this? If that's not what I that's not the situation I want, then why do I keep meeting those kind of women? Always take responsibility. Um, Next question. Oh, Nate. Oh, I'm okay. I'm glad that it's helpful to know when my intuition is right, because the more I know it's right, the more I follow it. So Nate says, he goes, "You're on the money there. I do feel disappointment like that." Okay. Yeah. So Nate, my vibe, my feeling, my intuition for you was that there was actually some hopelessness there. It wasn't so much, yes, you do have a big heart, but I did feel like there was a lot of hopelessness there. And so what I would love to see you start doing is to start partnering with hope and just saying like, "Hope, what do you look like for me in this situation where I just feel kind of destitute, that I'm never going to meet someone? Hope, can you just at least bring a pretty girl by me today that smiles at me, just something that ignites that spark in my heart." That's what you want right there, Nate. What I just said right there. Hope, bring me some tangible experience that ignites that spark back into my heart. Okay, I really want you to do that. Julia says, "What are your thoughts on?" And I'll show you my villa at the end of this video because it is a new cool villa. And I've told you guys in my last videos why I moved, but I'll tell you again once I show you the villa at the end of the video, which I'll probably end in about 3 to 5 minutes. Julia says, "What are your thoughts on long distance relationships? I have a friend who I met in college 4 years ago and went back to her country in Dubai. We chat once a month for hours. I can't get enough of her. Listen, I," and then you ask later, "Is it worth pursuing her? She says she wants to visit me next year, but I feel like I'm starting to like her more." Joyce, I do believe in long distance relationships. I believe that love can kind of transcend no distance. Any distance. Love can transcend any distance. And so I do believe that it's worth it, but it sounds like maybe you guys aren't on the same page, because if she's saying, "I want to visit you next year," I feel like you guys need to have a conversation and you need to be honest with her, and just say, "Hey, listen, like, I really enjoy talking to you. This is wonderful, but I need to be transparent with you. I am starting to catch feelings for you. And I just want to be honest about that. And so, I know you want to see me next year, but I feel like, I'd really like to see you and spend some time with you before that." So just be courageous and be willing to have that conversation to make sure that the two of you are on the same page before you continue to invest more of your emotions and more of your heart. Next question. Yeah. As soon as I say this every time, but as soon as I start scrolling, it just jumps. Okay, so striped one, this is a really good question, and this is a video I actually want to cover on my YouTube channel, and I should cover it. So this is, oh, sorry, I got to screenshot this because this just makes my heart so happy. Eric, I am coming to you. Eric Renberg, I'm coming to you, babe. Stripe just says, "So what do you do when you start talking to a woman and she says, 'I love you,' and you know it's too soon?" I said it back because I was in a tight spot. So in these situations, we call this love bombing. I honestly, to be very honest with you, I never had even heard of it until we have my group of girlfriends out here. We have one girlfriend. She does a lot of research on these sort of things that men do, and obviously I do research for like for men, not for women. And so, love bombing is when a person they just fall in love way too soon. They love bomb you, and yeah, it is a lack of boundaries, a lack of sometimes emotional maturity, emotional awareness. I know I personally have been guilty of this in my own life. Yes, you do. And I've been guilty of it. And I've also experienced it where the person said it way too soon. And I was like, it just didn't feel right. And I can imagine what you're saying. Yeah, I would be a bit concerned. I would put some more boundaries in place with this person, maybe create a little bit of space between you guys. But don't just back away, because that's not cool either. You want to have a conversation. This is why I call my men emotional warriors, because warriors have the courage to have these kind of conversations, and guys who run away from these conversations are just cowards. And so we've got enough men who are cowards in the world. It's time to start having a rise of warriors and emotional warriors. So you want to have an emotional conversation with her that's going to be challenging. And I'll just be very honest. This will be a challenging conversation. And it's saying, this is what it sounds like. So you want to write this down. We're at the 30.57 mark. You want to write this down. Should I come back to this video, rewatch it, write this down? This is what you want to say to her. Listen, it was really kind of you when you opened up to me and said that you love me. And I think it's sweet, and it really did catch me off guard as well. And I just want us to maybe step back a little bit and kind of like really ask ourselves, is that really where we are? Or are there just some really intense emotions that we're feeling right now? I don't want to invalidate. You're gonna have to say all of this. I don't want to invalidate what you're feeling, because no person like that'll put that will put her on the defensive. I don't want to invalidate your feelings or my feelings, but it did feel a little too soon. So I just would like to create some space between us for us to reevaluate and make sure that that's where we really are. Because for me, that word love is a very strong word. And so I want to make sure that that's actually where we are, and not just saying something and not actually being there. And so she might get a little hurt over this, but it's better that you start addressing it now before you get yourself on a 2-3 year relationship and go, I knew it the minute that she did that. I felt love bombed. Research that term, love bomb. I need to do a video on this as well. But yeah, it is a bit of a red flag. It does show maybe some emotional immaturity. Maybe she's trying to escape something in her own life. And so she's like clinging on to you and it's like, I love you. I need you. That was my experience when someone did it to me. It was what I did when I did it to someone else. I was in like a bad breakup, and I was like, I love this person. And it's like, you don't even know that person. How do you love them? So yeah, I think it's something that you should definitely address, but with gentleness. Next question. Someone says it's not the same thing, Arica, when you pleasure yourself. Ain't that the truth, though? Uh, what does it mean when a woman says, okay, wait, I gotta come back. Sorry, to Eric. Eric, okay, let me just take this in, you guys, because this is why I do this work. Eric Renberg says, and I took a screenshot of it. He said, Erica, I finally found someone thanks to you. Eric, will you just reach out to me on my website, Arica Angelo, on the ericaangelo.com, and go to the contact me page, and will you just write to me and tell me more about this, because I want to know this story. I want to know what about my advice helped you. Who did you meet her? Sometimes men, like I've had men, like I've helped put their marriages back together, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm together. I'm like, you think you could tell me this stuff? Like, because that's what I live for, is to see these things work out for you guys. What does it mean when a woman says she feels safe with you? Context, in bed together. Ooh, that's a great question, Arvin. When a woman feels safe with you, it means that you did work outside of the bedroom, meaning in conversations you made her feel safe, you made her feel appreciated. You heard what she said. She feels seen by you. So when she's in the bedroom, she says, I feel safe with you. Maybe even your touch, like men who have some men can have very connected touch, just like women. Like, it's like if you get a massage from someone and they're just like this, and you're just like, just don't even touch me. But when you have a person who really cares about the person they're giving a massage to, like their touch is just more connected. It's more sensual. You can kind of feel it. And it's like, this person really cares about my body. It's the same thing with a woman. When a man is very connected to his touch and he's touching her in the bedroom, it's like she feels that energy and it makes her feel safe. So it means that she wants to give her body to you. And she probably is if you're in the bedroom. Gary says a great thing. He says, Arica, aren't we supposed to improve our relationships from past mistakes with women? We're supposed to remember what we did wrong and don't do it anymore. I think, yeah, definitely remembering it. But I think the bigger thing is asking yourself why. That's always a great question. Why did I do this? Because if we just say, don't do this anymore, then there's actual no lesson. The lesson is, it's like when you teach a kid, like don't touch the fire. You just don't tell a child, don't touch that. It's hot. You explain to them why. Because if you touch it, it's going to burn your hand. If it burns your hand, we're going to have to take you to the doctor. And that's going to be a really long painful journey. So let's not do that. Understanding why you did those mistakes will support you so that you don't do it anymore. But if you just go, that was a bad thing I did, I'm not going to do it, that doesn't actually give you a lesson. And then chances are you will get into the same pattern once time starts to progress. Hello, Kim. Welcome. Thank you for being here. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. You still guys have so many questions, and I so love this. Ooh, I do have to say this, Laporta, I have to address this. He said, uh, Eric, you go to my website, Arica Angelo. So remember, Eric is with an A. I would say it's like Africa with no F. Go to ericaangelo.com, and then there's a contact me section on my page, and you can just write it in that little box. But I really want to hear your story. Yeah, someone's commenting about the love bomb. So, but let me answer this last question because it's really a powerful one. Laporta D says, why does it feel like foreign women are more feminine than US women? You know, it's not just US women too, it's other places. Like I know that men in France have complained about French women there. Even men in Spain have said some Spanish women there. Um, it's because when we start becoming independent, you know, some of the things to become independent require some of that masculine energy, right? Being tenacious, being a bulldog, doing all those things. And when you have to fight for something like that, and I'm speaking from personal experience, when you fight from for something like that, it does require a lot of masculine energy. So to be feminine is like it's like me telling guys like just be emotional. That's why I use the word emotional warrior, because you still want your masculinity. But if I just said just be emotional, just be more feminine, that's hard. So what happens is women in these places where it's like feminism or women empowerment, which can be healthy, then it can also be just as toxic. But when women are fighting for their own lives, their own freedom, their own financial freedom, it sometimes does require very masculine energy, not all the time. And so sometimes as women can get stuck in that. And so we have to remember, like, at the end of the day, one of my buddies always says, Erica, no guy wants to F another guy. Like, he wants that feminine woman. And so I think sometimes as women, we forget that we have to do both. I think guys get so frustrated. Like, I'm supposed to do both. Like, I have to be a man and like go out and like provide, but then I have to be soft with women. It's the same thing with women. She's like, I have to be strong and go out and like provide for myself, but now I have to be tender with men. It's something that women have to learn that balance with, just like men have to learn that balance as well. So let me show you my villa. This is an outdoor living villa. So I've never lived on one of these on my own. But let me just kind of show you. So the lighting is really good. So this is my living room. There's a living room. Up there is a loft up those steps. But see, there's a living room. And then this is what's really cool. That is built into the ground. So whenever I have my breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I go into the little ground, my little cubby hole. And up there is a loft. You can see the stairs. And it's kind of cool because I remember when I was little, I always wanted like a little tree house, and I never had one. So I kind of feel like I have one. So I do all my working out upstairs. It's like my little sanctuary. It's where I meditate in the mornings and just spend time with myself and watch my Joe Dispenza kaleidoscope meditations. I do my yoga. All of that goes on up there. So that's really cool. But yeah, so this is outdoor living in Bali. So we will see if I really enjoy that. But I moved back. See the outdoor kitchen. And then this is the pool area. Let me just move over here without falling into my eating hole. Here's the pool. I don't have the cushions out because we're in rainy season. And so the cushions are backed over there. And I would show you my room, but I did not make my bed. And yeah, no, I did not make my bed.